Back to that Spec podcast. I am not Francie. I am Max joining you tonight. Francie is traveling back from an event on the West Coast. She was covering back to her home on the East Coast. But while she is in the air and busy traveling, I figured I would fill in for her to share some important news for you tonight. So we've got the update on Equinox EV, a very exciting, affordable EV. I know many of you care about this topic. The last podcast I was on with the Spec podcast was to talk about the Mercedes EQS Maybach. Very expensive. That vehicle was like $170,000. So Equinox EV, we've been hoping for, myself and I think many of you watching it, to be this kind of promised messiah of sorts in affordable American EVs. Of course, affordable EVs are nothing new to the world. The markets in China and Europe are pumping them out. We have stuff like the Citroën EC3, which is coming from India in a newer form to Europe, $24,000 kind of translated starting price with almost 200-mile range. I mean, that's so exciting. Until now, the best kind of affordable EV, and by truly affordable, I mean like 30-ish $1,000 price or less, has been the Chevy Bolt, which was eligible for the federal tax credit this year. It's been a great vehicle. Yeah, it had the battery fires and the recalls early on, but that had been fixed with recalls, and the new one had the full eligibility for the federal EV tax credit, and it was a great affordable option. You could get it for well under 30 grand, under 20 grand really, if you added up all the right incentives and you lived in a state like Colorado that gave a great EV tax incentive. But there have been headwinds. GM announced basically months ago the Bolt is going to end production December. GM Authority here confirms it's really happening. They're shutting down the production line. There will be a new Bolt, but it won't come out for another few years. It will use LFP battery technology. That's going to be cool, but not coming soon. And GM has kind of said, but with their third quarter earnings, which were challenging with EVs, that they want more profits with EVs, and that's where they're going to focus with SUVs and more profitable trims. So months ago, when it was announced the Equinox EV would come out for $30,000, well, we've been kind of skeptical about will that actually be the case, because $30,000 is, it seems so appealing, but it's really been hard to take them at their word, especially considering the recently launched Blazer EV, which has just started shipping, is shipping in its most expensive configuration, and we haven't seen the base Blazer EV trim that they kind of promised yet. So Equinox EV, hopes are high here. Front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive optionable, but that 1LT base model would kind of fill in for the Bolt. Okay, be a bit more expensive at $30,000, but full EV tax credit eligibility, we presume, being made in America, of course, with the Ultium battery plants GM uses and assembled here. So that was all exciting. And we heard this news months ago. There was a petition, GM, please keep the price. Well, good news for you. They didn't listen. There's been a basically announcement that they gave to journalists here. I'm sharing Electric's article that they are going to delay it, unfortunately. It was supposed to start shipping fall of 2023. Well, here I am recording this on the evening of November 2nd and well into fall, basically winter at this point. No Equinox in production yet. They're wanting it to produce and sell it to people beginning in early next year, so 2024. But those orders are going to be these more expensive trims, the 2RS as they call it. So there's a front-wheel drive version and an all-wheel drive version. There's about a $3,400 price difference, so $49,000 price and $52,000 price respectively. And with that, you're going to get a lot of nice equipment. Super Cruise, which is a great driver assistance system, adaptive cruise control, of course, the Google operating system that we've already seen on the GMC Hummer EV, Cadillac Lyriq, and the Blazer EV, with a 17-inch touchscreen, auto sense power liftgate, 21-inch wheels, pretty nice. So these are, nice trims, of course, heated seats and steering wheel, the one-pedal driving, which is standard now on all GM vehicles, an 11.5 kilowatt AC onboard charger, and a charge cord included with the vehicle. Cool. And then 150 kilowatt DC fast charging, which makes it much more capable than the outgoing Chevy Bolt for those road trips. So this seems like a perfect bread and butter trim, but $49,000, that's a lot more than $30,000. Well, yeah, it's the 2RS. So that 1LT model, well, that's being delayed even further. That will be available until basically the end of next year, as GM is saying. End of 2024 is what they're hoping. Based off prior history and my hunch here, I'm thinking that might not really be until like 2025, early 2025 for a lot of customers, unless you get your name on the order banks, which by the way are coming online next week. So we'll have to take a look at that. I'm not sure if those orders will just be for these more expensive ones. They at least will be. They might include also the 1LT. But what GM has shared about the 1LT is that in addition to being delayed, it's not going to be $30,000. So it's going to be $35,000, a $5,000 price hike from what they said. That's unfortunate. It's still not a bad price though, because that still undercuts a lot of vehicles. Tesla Model Y, Volkswagen ID4. Like, yes, this is going to be a smaller, slightly less capable crossover, but still good range and same battery as those two RS trims I was telling you about. So they haven't shared the exact kilowatt hour capacity, but it's an Ultium battery, made of the same cells that we see in the Cadillac Lyriq and the Blazer EV, just probably scaled down a bit. But it's nice that this cheaper one will have that same one, meaning it's going to have that same figure of 319 EPA certified miles of range. Cool. The all-wheel drive, by the way, will probably be a little bit less because it's the same battery size. But simplifying things on Chevy and GM's end by all having the same battery and all of the trims, that's cool. I'm guessing they just are not in a rush to sell this presumably less profitable trim, but that will have less standard equipment, and we have less info on aside from the price. I'm glad they've at least committed to a price and have been honest about breaking their initial promise of $30,000. Well, that's how it shakes out sometimes in the automotive market, but good thing GM at least let us know. They've got this also graph here about, they offer something for everyone, includes combustion and EV vehicles. And you can see here the awkward thing, which is that the Equinox EV is uncomfortably close to the Blazer EV. If you're getting the 2RS trim, well, it's more expensive than the base Blazer EV. And right now we've only seen the RS, the high-end Blazer EVs. So basically GM's kind of pulling this bait and switch move of saying, oh, we have affordable EVs, but they're coming, and they ship the most expensive ones first. Seems like Equinox EV has fallen prey to that. I don't want to sound too cynical and pessimistic here. Nonetheless, I am excited. And by the way, front-wheel drive I don't think is an issue at this price range in this class. Rear-wheel drive, okay, maybe it'd be nice for those of you who are driving enthusiasts, but hey, it's the way they've chosen to package this. It's no different than the Chevy Bolt or other semi-affordable EVs like the Kia Niro EV and Hyundai Kona Electric, which by the way are also above $40,000 for a new one. So this Equinox EV, if it comes out for the price they're now saying, is still cheap. It's still affordable. We just need to see it. And it's later than I'd like, but those order banks are opening next week. So that's basically all the news I can share with you. Please let me know your comments, what you think about the state of affordable EVs, specifically in the US market in general, how you feel like GM and Chevy are doing. And then, if you're an interested customer, if you're one of the people who's raised their hands for this vehicle, of which it seems 200,000 people have, what are your thoughts now? And, which trim are you going to go with? Are you going to go with the more expensive one early, or are you going to try to wait and hold out for that more affordable one? Let me know. I've been Max joining you tonight. Again, I'm sorry if I ramble. Try to keep this as brief as I can. Share this news update with you. We really need to cover affordable EVs more and more. You can find me regularly on the Out of Spec Guide channel, where I give EV tutorials and buying advice for those of you newer to electric vehicles. But please subscribe to this channel, Out of Spec Podcast on YouTube. If you're watching us here, you're going to see Francie as normal, covering all of the bleeding edge EV news, doing interviews, all kinds of great work she's been doing. And also you can listen to this, of course, as a podcast on Apple, Spotify, all those platforms. Please subscribe to us there. You'll see me potentially as a guest on future episodes, but again, look forward to Francie later on. And thank you for watching or listening to this one, wherever you may be. And I hope you are having a great fall, even with this unfortunate news about Equinox EV. Anyhow, see you next time. Thanks for watching and listening.